Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make yogurt in the Instant Pot because I know when I first tried to make it, it was so confusing. There are so many different recipes out there and it took me a couple failed attempts to do it right, but in reality, it's really easy. All you're going to need is your Instant Pot, some whole milk, half a gallon, roughly 2 tablespoons of yogurt with live bacteria. We just saved the yogurt from the previous batch now. Just a little bit in a jar and use that. And then these aren't necessary, but I do like to have a thermometer to make sure it gets to the right temperature. And then this to strain if there's any skim on top. And then I have my little helper here, which he's not really in frame. So the first step obviously is to make sure your Instant Pot is clean. So once it's clean, you're gonna wanna put your whole thing of half-gallon milk in there. My milk, there's a little less than half a gallon in here. I find this recipe, the measurements doesn't really have to be exact as long as you have enough of the live bacteria, like the yogurt. So I'm gonna put that all in here and then put my lid on, which somehow I always struggle to put it on. There we go, line it up. And then we're gonna go to the yogurt setting, which is right here. And we're going to boil. And this confused me at the start. I thought I had to hit a button for it to start, but you don't. It's just gonna go like that and then it'll beep and the boil will not blink like that. And then you know it's doing its thing. Now you just wait until it beeps again and then we'll go on to the next part, which is cooling it off and adding our live bacteria. Okay, so that was probably 15 minutes if I had to guess. My little helper's gone to play. And you can see now it doesn't say boil, it says yogurt. The top is hot, so you have to be careful. But what I'm gonna do is take the top off. It didn't pressurize, so you don't have to worry about that. It was just heating it up. And then I kind of just whisk it a little bit just to prevent the skim from forming on top. And then I get my thermometer and I check it, and you kind of want it to be 180. That's what it should heat up to. I just like to double check. So it reached 180, so it's all good. And then yeah, I just keep whisking it for a little bit. And then I've heard different people say different things. Some people like to instantly take it out and then put it in a sink of cold water. And then some people say they like to keep it sitting for a couple minutes just to let it set. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let it sit in here for a minute and then transfer it to cold water. Sometimes when I'm busy, I'll just leave it to cool off by itself for like 45 minutes and then come back to it. But I've also heard from others that putting it in the cold water helps prevent the skim on top. And also it just makes the process faster. So I'm going to fill this water up with cold water. We don't have ice, so it's just gonna be cold water. And basically by the time that's done filling up, then I'll transfer the pot over. Okay, I think that's enough water in there. So I'm going to transfer it. Obviously it's gonna be hot, so use oven mitts or tea towel to hold it. And we're gonna want it to get to roughly 105 to 115. It's around 110, so that is good enough. So I'm gonna take it out, dry it off with the cloth, and then put it back in there and we'll get to the next step. So yes, it's all dried off now and it has reached 110, which is cool enough. Anywhere from 105 to 115 roughly, because you still want it a little bit warm for the bacteria to be able to grow. So like I said, for half a gallon of milk, you want roughly 2 tablespoons, but adding a little extra isn't gonna do any harm. I have a little less than half a gallon, but I'm still adding the 2 tablespoons. Basically just add all of this. People I know I see take a little bit of their milk out of here and put it in a bowl with the starter and whisk that and then add it back in. I guess I could have just added the milk into here, but honestly, I don't really find that does a difference. People say it helps with a smoother texture, but I haven't found the difference. But if you want to go ahead and do that extra step, you can. So I just whisk it all together now to make sure it is evenly distributed in here just for 30 seconds. And I don't have any skim on top this time, but if I did, I would just remove it at this point. First, put your top back on after that. So it's on. And then for the settings, we're on yogurt still, but we're gonna have to hit yogurt again. We don't want boil. We don't want less. We want normal. And I'm just gonna set it for the 9 hours. You can do really anywhere from 8 to 24 hours. The longer you do it, typically the more tangier it is. And see, that's how you know it started. This was another thing I was confused at. I kept doing it to the setting and I was like, why is it not starting? It starts and it counts up, not down. So you choose the amount of time you want. Like I said, mine was 9 hours, and then you just leave it and beep, beep. It starts, and then it will count up, and then it will beep again when it's done. So now all we have to do is leave this on the counter for 9 hours, and we'll just get back to you when it's done. And my little helper climbed up and he wants to help, but it's kind of hot, McCoy.
Here. Baby.
Look at this.
Wow.
And now we just have to strain it.
These are crabs. These are crab friends. He sees that.
Thicker it is, you can pick it up. It's kind of like a yogurt pancake. I don't know if it will all fit in here. Look how thick that is. Wow, Makai. And you could also, if you want flavor, add some honey to it. Kai likes to put chocolate chips in for dessert. The way all that liquid, you can see a lot left over. I'm gonna go just put this in a mason jar and I'm gonna make some pancakes with this later. And there you have it, your whey leftover that you can use in recipes that call for buttermilk or just milk in replacement, and your very thick Greek yogurt for way cheaper than store-bought.